girls with their nails done now. Girls with their nails done. I like the girls with their nails done. Girls with their nails done now. Girls with their nails done now. Girls with their nails done. I like the girls with their nails done. Girls with their
Good morning, my friends. Welcome back. What a morning. What a morning it is. AMD, baby. AMD, baby. Morning, guys. Welcome back. All right. Did I have drinks last night? Nah, it's just up a little bit late margin, to be quite honest with you. That's about it. No drinks. No alcoholic beverages. Not a big drinker. Ponzi, what's up? Chef, CJ, Barefoot Sailing Adventures. Love it. Love it. Jacob, what's up? Paul? Yeah, it's quite okay. It is quite okay. What's up, Steven? Randy? Couple old fashions. Is that who I think it is? I don't know if that's Anthony, my friend, or if that's Anthony that knows that I had old fashions on Sunday somehow. I'm not sure. Morning, guys. Welcome back. Buy the dip. We'll have to see, man. We made a video, right? If you guys pay attention to the videos that I make and the things we talk about, we made a video on Monday of this week about the technical analysis, and we talked about the NASDAQ. We talked about the NASDAQ creating a potential lower high, and we saw that weakness again yesterday. Very clear weakness on the NASDAQ versus other surrounding sectors. Yeah, I mean, nice to see, right? Nice little downside move. We had that pullback into the daily 20 SMA. We talked about the NASDAQ having that lower high, potentially needing that pullback to the daily 20, and that's exactly where we are this morning. So, very nice, clean. I don't really know exactly. I got to be honest with you guys. I'm a little bit unaware of if there was an overnight news that caused this. I do need to go back and check that real quick. Because I didn't see much come out. Nothing that I... must have been some comments that were made. Must be something political. Let me take a look. You guys know? Just so I don't need to do this. ASML earnings. Yeah, probably part of it. Definitely part of it. I see something about Trump's comments, but I don't know if that's really that big. Yeah, Trump said something about Taiwan. I saw that. I saw some comments in the group about that this morning. It looks like it's a little bit of ASML earnings. Definitely hurting the semiconductors. That's for sure. That looks like a part of it, right? A little bit of ASML earnings causing some downside, a little bit of downside here, which is obviously going to hurt the semiconductors, right? AMD, Nvidia, MU, right? A little bit of downside across those names because of ASML. And then looks like a little bit of pressure because of that, that TSM comment, that Taiwan comment from Trump, probably going to hurt TSM a little bit. Yeah. So a little bit of a few things, nothing wild out there. Nice pullback on the NASDAQ futures back into our daily 20. So definitely levels to watch, but really, right? We had this lower high form that we talked about. That's pretty clear now, very clear now on the NASDAQ futures. So a nice technical pullback from there. And we knew that ASML earnings was out there. So nothing out of the ordinary, no kind of black swan event, just a, market showing some pullback, market showing some weakness over the last few trading days. Definitely some weakness on the NASDAQ and tech market. And we knew that ASML earnings was coming out. So just a nice little pullback here, guys. Let's go ahead and focus on the levels. Let's go ahead and look at where we could hold, where we could see rejections, where we can find trades, right? That's always the key. And real quick, I'll just be fully transparent with you guys. This is... Here's what I'm holding right now. So I'm very happy about this. I am happy to see the downside. I was very happy to wake up to this. So AMD, July 19th, 180 put. Right now, unrealized, about $11,000 in profit, holding about 18 contracts. Average is at $4, and currently the market price is at 10. So that is where I'm at this morning. That is my current position. So you obviously understand that, I'm a little bit happy to see it. All right. Let's get started. Let's go to that calendar, that economic calendar. Let's go to that earnings calendar, and then let's jump into the levels. I might need to get out of here a little bit early today, guys. So let me stop yapping here, because I got to get that Desi TA going. If you know, you know. So, all right. Today, Wednesday, building permits housing starts at 8:30. Let's see if there's any reaction there. I don't really expect there to be much reaction there, but we can watch that. FOMC member Barkin speaking at 9. Don't really expect too much there. 9:15, 9:35. So a lot of little things heading up to the open here. I really don't. I don't really expect much reaction off any of this, but we will watch that. Tomorrow really is the last big thing of the week. Unemployment claims at 8:30. So that's really it. Besides that, just a lot of Fed members speaking, a lot of yapping people, a lot of talking heads. I don't really expect too much reaction on the market because of this. Really, the only last thing I'd say here is tomorrow, unemployment claims. All right. Earnings. We had the ASML earnings. We knew that was approaching. Tomorrow we have TSM earnings, which is quite interesting because there were some comments made about TSM, and you guys can see right here. So this morning, ASML earnings causing downside on semiconductors. We know that, right? Very clear. So let's keep an eye on that weakness on semis. We saw the weakness on semis yesterday. There was no doubt about it, right? That was definitely a clear judge, right? We were definitely a clear sign yesterday was that semiconductor sort of underperformance. It was all about those small caps again. Small cap summer. So ASML, weakness on earnings, weakness on semis, causing a little bit of downside. Tomorrow, before open, TSM. This is a big one. Let's be careful of this. And then tomorrow after close, Netflix. All right? All right. Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's get into these levels. So, the first and foremost, and the most important thing that we talked about yesterday and continue to see, right, this entire week, both Friday, Monday, and yesterday. So 3 trading days now. We have seen a high fail to break, right? A new high fail to break. And this was what our video was about on Monday. We talked about how this previous 20,750 level has now potentially become a lower high, right? Here was a high, and here was a lower high, right? We have not seen a lower high on this market for a very long time, right? A structured lower high really has not formed on this market for a very long time, probably since back in, probably about a month ago. We had a little one here that did cause some further downside, right? We had a high, and it did sort of create that stair-stepping downside move, right? But over the last, let's call it 2-3 weeks, right, this thing has just been that stair-stepping upside move. And this breakdown here has now created, and we talked about this, a potential lower high. So that's very interesting, right? That sort of shift there was very definitely something to pay attention to. And we can see that it's sort of just causing that weakness here. Now, we had our 20,750 level yesterday. We had our 20,500 level yesterday, right? We talked about that 250-point range. We said market might just sit between that level, might be a little tough to trade, right? We might just get that channel trade. So yesterday, that was very true, right? We saw that rejection. We saw the weakness above 750. We came back down to the 500. And the entire day yesterday, we just held above 500, right? So that 500 demand was very much valid. And we saw the market react to that 20,500 all day yesterday. This was where we were stopping our short side entries yesterday with the group. We were talking about, hey, we probably need to stop shorting this market. All right, after that morning downside, we're starting to see that 20,500 hold, and that is probably about it for the day, right? That is probably a level that could hold on. That is a previous day low and a Friday low. So a very major demand low that we had in our charts that held again. Now, here in the pre-market, right, or in the after hours, look what happened when we lost that 20,500. When we lost that 20,500, this thing got aggressive, right? Big downside under that 20,500. And where did we break under? Which I think is very important. We broke under the 20,370. Let me get a little bit more time here. 1 second. So you guys know we had that 20,370 level, that previous all-time high, right here, 20,370. And when we broke below that, look at the little retest that happened here, right? Look how clean this is. Let me go to the 15-minute chart. Look at this. Look at that. Just look at it. So 20,500 break, right? Break under 20,370. Look at the retest. Bam, bam, right? That is very clear. So what are we watching today? It's about as clear as can be. 20,370. That was our major level. We've had this level on our charts for weeks. And you can see the reaction in real time this morning. 20,370, 20,370, 20,370. If we cannot reclaim 20,370, you cannot long this market, okay? That is a must reclaim. Must, right? If you return 20,370 into rejections, that is a major structure shift, right? You are back under all of this, right? You're back under all of this. If you turn that low and that low into a rejection point, that is no bueno. So there is no reason to long this pullback. There is no reason to long this market. If you are rejecting 20,370, you have to reclaim that. There's no doubt about it. Previous lows, and previous high, right? 20,370. You have to get above it. You have to get above it. 20,270, not 370. No, it's 270. It's 370. Thank you. Okay, it's 370. 20,370, 20,370, 20,370. That is your level today. That is a must reclaim level, in my opinion. You have to get back over that previous all-time high. You have to get back over these lows. You have to get back over that morning rejection. If you can get back above it and you can hold, that is where you could possibly trade higher into that 20,500 again. But that is only, once again, if we're above 20,370. Now, can you hold 270? Yes, right? But that doesn't, I would not long from 270 into 370. Okay? This is not an interesting long. You don't need to long here. You don't need to long the 270 into the 370. It's unnecessary. You do not need to get sweaty. You do not need to get involved in that long. Okay? It's unnecessary. Just wait for it to bounce and hold over 370. Then long it. Right? There's no reason to try to long from here to here and get stuck in this. Okay? This is an unnecessary long. Sit back, relax, and watch it. You don't need to get sweaty from 270 to 370. Let it bounce and hold over 370 and formulate that long entry over that rejection, over Friday's lows, over that previous all-time high, and then you look for the trade higher. This is just a monitor zone, right? You're going to see what happens here. The 270 is a very big level as well, right? And that daily 20 SMA, which is the level we talked about, is coming back down to. If you go here on the hourly chart, you can see right here, 20,270, 20,270, 20,270, a very big level as well. But we are not going to long 20,270 right into these previous all-time highs, into these previous lows, and into Friday's major lows, right? There's no reason to long from 270 to 370 and see this thing just fail again, okay? So today, very clear, 20,270 to 370, no trade zone. If you get over 370, longs above into 20,500. Watch out for 20,500 rejections. That could be a beautiful break and retest rejection for more. Watch 20,500 rejections. Watch 20,370 rejections. Do not short into 20,270. If you get a break and hold under 270, you're moving lower into 160. Okay? That's that. QQQ. Pretty much the same analysis here. Very, very clear. Demand level below 487. Right here. 487. This was that pullback level we talked about in the last video. We talked about this in my Monday video. If you pay attention to the content I provide, you should be very aware of what's going on here. 487. Previous double top highs. 487. 487. That is where I think you probably need to trade back to on the QQQ. It's either there or 488, which is the 20 SMA. You can see that's holding right now. Right? 488 is the daily 20 SMA. That's where you're holding right now. And I like 487 as a very important demand low. So, very big demand at 487. That would definitely be something I'd watching. That is a previous double top, triple top high. That was the low here on Wednesday. That pushed us higher. 487 QQQ, big company. I'm reading the chat. Big level. Now, where do you have to get back above? Where do you have to get back above? In my opinion, it's 491. You must get back over 491 before you long here. That is so clear. Previous major lows, and a perfect rejection at 491 this morning. Look at how clean this is, right? Previous major lows, 491. Look at that rejection in the pre-market today. Clear as can be. You cannot long if we're under 491. That is very apparent. Do not long if you're under 491. That could be a very clear rejection play at 491 today. A rejection under this previous major low. That's Thursday and Friday lows from last week. Do not long this market if we're under 491. If we get back above it, there's a chance of a little bit of a push higher. Do I love that? Am I gonna be going crazy for that trade? Probably not, to be quite honest with you, right? I'm probably not going to be the first one to long above 491. That's just, market's just showing a lot of weakness. But you could look for it, right? You could look for it. You could see if you can get a 491 break and hold above. That is a possible long entry, possibly on a reclaim of 491. Very possible on a little bit of a scalp long over 491. Where would that trade into? I would assume that trades into these lows right here, 495, right? That 495 level is where we've been sort of holding this entire week. 495, 495, 495. A little bit sloppy yesterday, but 495 really is that key level. And so if you do get above that 491, I'd say you could probably trade and fade higher into 495, but that would, again, be a very concerning level for downside, right? So slap my ass and call me a billy goat. Love it. 491, man, that's the key level. All right, let's see what happens at 491. That's going to either give us some relief, right? Over 491, we could get a little bit relief. I think there's no doubt about it. If we see rejections at 491, that's where things get heavy again, okay? Be careful of shorting into 487. All right. S&P 500. So what's crazy is, right, the S&P 500 continues to just not really break down anything. It really just is such a different obviously, people don't read the chat. It was something in the chat. The ES really just doesn't break down, is not breaking down as much as the NASDAQ futures, which is very clear here, and something to pay attention to, right? We're not getting that same weakness on the S&P, and that's something you need to understand before you start shorting something, right? Because you can't short the SPY expecting the market to go down, right? If you're watching the tech market and you're seeing tech weakness and you short the SPY because of it, you're not going to get as juicy of a trade because that SPY is being held up by the other sectors, right? So make sure you understand that. This SPY is holding this 5650. I believe this is going to be a tough level for us to break below, so be aware of that. 5650, right? And the upside rejection point for me right here is 5680. Right, 5680, that's Tuesday's pre-market lows, yesterday pre-market lows. That's Monday's lows, right? That's these lows back here. So I think 5680, and we can see right here, this 15-minute chart. Take a look at this right here. Look how clean this is. Previous lows from Monday, nice little low from pre-market yesterday, and look at that rejection right there, guys. That is textbook break and retest, right? Previous lows, break, retest, rejection. That is sexy stuff. So, very clear. Right, 5680, we are not longing if we're below that level, okay? If we get a pop into 5680, we're looking for pops and fades, right? Pops and fades. 5680, that's your potential rejection spot today. If you get a pop into it, look for that fade, look for that rejection of those previous lows and that rejection of that pre-market high right there, that little pivot high. So, 5680, clear as can be. 5650's demand, you got yourself in a channel here so far. 5650 to 5680. I'd look for pops and fades. You could look for that demand hold at 5650. If you get above 5680 today, that definitely could give you some relief, right? There's no doubt about it. If you get above 5680 today and you get back above that Tuesday pre-market low, that Monday low, I definitely think you could see some buying stepping in above 5680. So I don't know if, right? Let me make it very, very clear here, guys, okay? Obviously, I'm not going to pretend like I need to tell you exactly what to do, right? You got to have a brain for yourself. That's very obvious. But if you're going to try longs today, right, you definitely need to have a short leash on them, okay? Let's not be crazy. If you're going to long this, if you're going to try to long this pullback today, I'd make sure to just have a short leash, have that stop loss, make sure you're not just getting too greedy here, right? If you do try a little 5680 scalp today, right, and you're like, all right, look at this, we're reclaiming 80. I'm going to try a little long here. Right, you got to have your stop loss under 80, right? You can't just long over 80 today and say, whatever, I'm just going to hold this long, because that could just be nasty, okay? So have your longs. If you have your long spots, there's nothing wrong with having your long spots today, but please make sure you keep a tight leash on those, because, you know, there could be fake outs today back to the upside. There's no doubt about it, all right? We could get some fake outs back to the upside, people trying to buy that dip, and it's just a dead cat bounce. All right, and you don't want to be a part of that without a stop loss, all right? Please. SPY. Hourly chart on SPY. 30-minute chart. Very key level here. 559.50. This has been the same level in our charts all week. 559.50 and the 558. Two major levels that we've had in our charts. Here is that rejection point, 561. Let me go ahead and pop that on our charts here. 1 second. Extend to the left. Make a little red zone there for us. 561. Very nice. All right. So, SPY, big level, 559.50. Okay, we've been talking about this level. That's that Friday close. That's that Monday low, right? Remember that Friday close, Monday low? You can see right here, 559.50, trying to hold, right? That's key. So for now, have to see if that holds on. 559.50, 559.50, 559.50. Upside rejection point, clear as can be. Let's go to the 15-minute chart. Take a look at what the SPY did here. Previous lows on Monday, previous pre-market lows yesterday. Look at that 561 level this morning, okay? So 561, very clear, 561, 561. There's your low, there's your low, there's your high. You guys can watch if this pushes higher today. Do you reject 561? Do you reject 561? Do you reject 5680? Very clear there, right? Nice little structure there. That's something you're watching today. Do you get a fade at 561 and 5680 on the ES? Okay? If you get above it, that is a potential for a little bit of a relief bounce over 561. There could be some longs off 561 back towards maybe this 562.50, right? I wouldn't be, and again, this goes back to what I'm talking about. It's a scalp long, right? I would not marry that long. I would not just sit in it forever. If you're going to try these little reclaim longs today, you're going to be a scalper here, okay? So if we do get back over that 561, I think there is a scalp long. I think it's very possible, but I'd be really just looking for a few points, man. Probably back into that 562.50, maybe back into that 563.50. But that is only if you reclaim this pre-market high. 561 rejections, 559.50 support. If we break and hold under 559.50 today, we're going lower into this 558. Okay? All right. Let's go to the Russell. What a monster this thing has been. What an absolute monster this thing has been. Press that like button for me. 500 likes. We got a third of the people in here pressing the like buttons. 1/3. Terrible. Maybe next time I'll just do 1/3 of a live stream. So we'd do about 20 minutes. We'd be about done right now. We'll just end it here. 1/3 of a live stream for 1/3 likes. All right, let's continue. Just kidding, but press the like button. Russell. 2265's holding pretty nicely here. What a breakout, man. What a breakout, right? Insane. We talked about this, that 2200 level, that we haven't been above this level for multiple years, and man, did we break it. Man, did we break it. So we broke and held above that 2200. 2350 is that really major high. 2460. So 2350 looks like a weekly high. So that's very clear. 2350. Very clear there. Let's go to the daily chart real quick. Let me see if there's anything I spot on the daily. Nah, just a shit show over here, guys. Shit show chop fest on the daily chart here. Wow. That's not even 2350. What is that level doing there? 2460 on the daily. Yeah, I mean, this is just a shit show. So we are trading in the shit show, okay? We are trading in the shit show on the Russell. So lows, highs, right? We're in that shit show right now. So we're going to have to really just pay attention to short-term levels, I think, more than anything. All right, we're going to have to really zone in on these short-term levels. So right now, let's go ahead and look at some short-term levels on the Russell. So I'd say right now it's pretty clear that this is your potential shelf of the day, 2265, right? 2265, 2265, 2265. So if you're in short-term Russells, I'd watch that 2265. Yesterday, the hold over 2220 was absolutely beautiful. 2220, 2220. We talked about this in the live stream. Previous double top highs into pre-market lows. That was insanely clean yesterday and just a nutso move yesterday. So that's nice. Russell really not pulling back too much, but it is good to see it pull back a little bit. Could provide some opportunity, of course. It looks like you have some pretty difficult sort of action up here on this 2289, 2290. Right, you can see a little bit of difficulty up here on that Russell. Right, you have this high here. You have a little bit of a failure there. So it looks like that 2289, 2290 level looks to be a little bit tough. I'd be aware of that today. I would love a pullback back. I mean, at any point here, guys, if we get a pullback to 2200 on the Russell, that is going to be a dream watch, okay? That is going to be an awesome watch. So don't be scared of pullbacks in the Russell here yet. Anything above 2200 is still very bullish. That's still that major, major breakout. So I'm going to watch this 2265 today. If it holds, this is going to be very strong again. If we break under 2265, I think you're going to navigate lower through some of this yesterday upside. I think there's no doubt about that, right? You can navigate a little bit lower just through some of this straight up from yesterday. I would like this pullback to 2220. That would be really nice. So if it's not 2265 today, if we do not see this hold, I think you'll probably navigate on a little pullback, which is nothing wrong with Russell here. I would like to see it back to that 2220. That would be my watch for that next long entry, okay? Going to really require some pullbacks on a big runner like that, just finding those right levels, okay? Dow Jones, huge push, very clear retest level, will come in. This will come in. I'm almost guaranteeing of it. I can't guarantee it because I can't do that, because I can't guarantee anything on the stock market, but I could definitely foresee, let me use the word foresee, a pullback and a retest long at the Dow 20,740. This would be extremely clean on the Dow. This is what I'd wait for if you do trade the Dow. I'd look for this pullback right here. 20,000 or 40,740 previous double top highs. That would be really clean right there. Okay, at 40,740. That would be the pullback you're looking for. All right, let's move on. Let's get into some stocks here. Press that like button for me. Subscribe to the channel. 20,270, holding on the NASDAQ. All right, let's get into some stocks. Tesla. I got like 15 minutes more, and then I got to get out of here. I got to post some charts. So Tesla, really not that big of a breakdown here this morning, right? Tesla really resilient, actually. 248. Let me get and zoom out a little bit. Yeah, that 248 level was pretty strong. I think I still want to see it over this. I'm going to leave the level where it is, actually. I want to see this thing over this Friday high. That's going to be a prerequisite for me to be interested in Tesla. So I want to see Tesla hold over this Friday high at 252. It's not quite there, and it's been sort of weak, but I'm just going to watch that 252 level. You can very clearly see we have that 247.50 rejection area right here. 257.50 right here. 257.50. A little bit of rejection right there. Very clean. So let's be careful of there, right? 257.50. Clear rejections. I need to see what happens here at 252. Not much action there yesterday. Sort of just chopping sideways. It looks like 247 does have a little bit of support as well. You can see right here. It's that 247 level that I would be watching in the short term. Right now, Tesla looks pinned. It looks pinned. It looks like it's consolidating. I really don't love a whole lot of it, right? I would like to see over 265 to really be confident. We know 265 is a very tough level, right? We can see that very clearly. 265, big supply. I just don't really find the interest in Tesla at the moment to try to long it back into that level, right? Just a little bit tough. It's been a little bit choppy. I'm probably just going to let this be a little bit. If we get over 265, then I think it's game time. That's my honest opinion. I don't know if you need to get involved in here. You could try, right? It's going to be a little bit difficult. You could try to get involved in there, but I think the best bet is to just let 265, just let it break out. Break out and then see if we can trade it. That's going to be that big day, right? When most people make money on Tesla, guys, it's going to be that we're breaking over 265, right? That day you go on Twitter, that day you hear from your friends, that day you hear from people online about all the money they made on Tesla. That day is not going to be in this shit show, okay? That day will be when Tesla is squeezing over 265. That money will be made on that move. The money will probably not be made trading this intraday shit show on Tesla under 265, okay? So for me, I don't really care about it. I'm probably not even going to watch it. All I'm going to do is do this, create alert, add her above 265. If that thing goes off and I see us squeezing over this level, then sure, I'm getting involved, right? So When you start seeing people online and you start getting that FOMO, oh my God, I wish I traded Tesla today. Look at all the money everyone made. I guarantee you it's not here. I guarantee you it's on a hold over 265 and a squeeze to the 280s, right? So that would be my mindset here. I'd be a little bit careful on it in the short term. Hourly chart on Nvidia. We talked about the weakness on Nvidia. We talked about how I think Nvidia has been pretty slow. And, yeah, that ASML earnings definitely sort of caused some downside on the semis. And we have broken this downtrend. Nvidia just sort of has been slow. We've seen that. And yesterday we saw that drop. And this morning we see the drop again. We're back at 120. This is going to be big, right? This is going to be huge on Nvidia. Maybe we need more, right? We might need more downside. So right now, 120 to 118, big demand lows. If we break under that, we're going to 115, which is, if you guys remember, that's our golden retest zone. Where do I have that? That's right here. Remember our golden retest zone? It might be time. It might be time to get the golden retest, right? We talked about the retest of that 115, and that's also where that 50 SMA is. I think that's probably where Nvidia is heading. I really do. I probably think Nvidia, at this point, I'm thinking Nvidia is coming back to test this structure low at 115. That really looks like the clear move on Nvidia. So there's definitely some levels to be watching before that happens. There's definitely this 120 and 118 demand. No doubt about that. So let's be careful there. I'm going to go ahead and just put this at 120 and 118. Those are definitely some major demand lows to be watching here today. So let's go into that short term real quick. But I'd say that if you can hold strong on this downside, that looks like a pretty clear move or structure test down at that 115 level for sure. So here's your demand lows to be watching right here. 120, definitely could hold that today. If we break 120, we go to 118. If we break 118, we go to 115. Okay? If we get a pop, there is the clearest rejection play out there. The clearest rejection play out there that I would probably get very heavy on, guys. If Nvidia pops today into 125, I am absolutely looking to fade it there. All right? Absolutely looking to fade it at 125. Definitely watch that today. Okay? AMD. Oh, baby. Oh, baby. Yeah. Congratulations, guys. Let me be the first to congratulate you. If you stayed on it, if you stayed true with me, there was a lot of people, right? And this is just a little learning lesson. I'm not going to use it. I talked to the group about this yesterday. Not going to use this as a way to discourage anyone, but hopefully educate you and share, right? And sort of give you a sort of teach about holding positions. So right here, guys, in the Discord community, we entered some AMD puts on Friday. We entered the July 19th 180 puts with a stop loss over the triple top high, right? We talked about this triple top high. We've been given updates on that level pretty much every day in this live stream, and we gave that entry point in the Discord. We talked about staying in this trade as long as we're under this triple top high, and I can tell you from experience and from just sort of reading the body language or the vibes of people in the community, and I'm using this again as a learning lesson, not so much as a way to just be a dick, but I saw people exiting this trade, right, before the stop loss hit, right? We're exiting trades before stop losses hit because we're in a little bit of drawdown, right? I entered this trade around this 182, 180 area on Friday, and it instantly went against me, right? No doubt. I was down on this trade. It went against me, but I had my stop loss at the break of the triple top highs, right? Or the double top high at 187.30, right? And it never broke above it. Never. It never broke that high, right? It never broke it. So I had my stop loss set. I knew my risk. I understood my risk. But this, again, guys, is the problem with following people's trades. And I'll be fully honest with you. This is the problem when people copy trades. They enter a trade because I get in. They have no idea what the game plan is, and they're just solely following. They go down on it 20%. They jump out. I'm still in. Now I'm up $12,000 on it, and they exited down 20%. Okay? That is what the problem is with trading and copying. I'll be fully honest with you. You have to, if you're going to trade the trades that I take, you better understand why I'm doing it and the game plan of what I'm following. So 187.30, 187.30. We never broke above that high, and I stayed in the trade. Had a nice drop Friday afternoon. Monday, you guys saw that downside come in. Yesterday, straight off the gates. And the reason I stayed in this overnight, right? Here's the reason I stayed in this overnight. Even though we held that 174.50 level, look at the rejection that came in of the Thursday lows, right? So we dropped yesterday. We held 174.50. The rest of the day, we sort of curled higher. Why did I stay in it? Because we never broke over any kind of previous lows. You can see right here, we turned that 178 low into a rejection point, and the rest is history. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Took some profits yesterday, right? Took some profits off yesterday, no doubt, because I needed to protect myself. But I was willing to hold some overnight. And 178, what a rejection. Previous lows into highs. Boom, boom. Downside, where do I think this can trade to? Really, my target was 172, so this is well gone. To me, it looks like it's trading to here, 166.50. You are now in this sort of straight-up move on AMD. I'd assume AMD can trade back to 166.50. What would I look for today for short entries? I would not look at it like that. I would look for a retest rejection of 172. That's what I would look for. Retest rejection of 172. These previous highs at 172, look for that to turn into a failure. 172. Okay. TSM, big downside. Earnings are tomorrow, so I wouldn't really touch this thing. Might be good that it's actually pulling back before earnings. That's probably a good thing. So right here, we can see some now rejection points coming in here. 176. Let's put a level there. That's definitely a rejection spot to be careful of. I don't think I'd trade this. Once again, I'll reiterate that. But I would watch this 176 to 170 zone now. You are now within the 176 to 170 zone. Right here. 176, 170. Right? Very clear. So watch out for 176 rejections today. That's going to be a key level. You guys can see right here. Previous rejections there back from June 28th. So we could see a rejection there again. Intel, what is happening? I'm not answering that. I mean, that's... Intel's going up. I have no idea what's going on. I have no idea. Looks like something. Oh, probably because of the Taiwan... Probably because the comments about... Intel is an American company, right? Intel's an American company, right? Yeah, it is. Yeah, I think it's because it's an American company. I think a little bit of love for some American semiconductors. Isn't there another PIF? Where's PIF? PIF, what was that American semiconductor stock that you were talking about? Where's PIF? Yeah, it is because of that. All right, MU, let's continue. That is why Intel's going up. American company, American semiconductor company. It's going to cause, there could be some more, right? It's just a short-term thing, but we'll see. MU, big breakdown under 130. We've been talking about that 130. It broke down. If we go, that's your next level is 121 here. AMSC. All right, what's AMSC doing? So watch MU 130, 121 here, guys. Keep an eye on that. 121 in that 100 SMA. Be aware of that. ASMC. AMSC. AMSC. Is it going up? Nah, not really. Not much reaction there. Looks like Intel's getting the love. Looks like Intel's getting the love. All right, let's actually take a look at Intel. Now, let's the all caps got me interested, I guess. All caps. What is happening? Let's watch for a retest here. Right here. Let's look for a retest. Right, that would be very clean. 35.50. That would be your entry point. Oh, yeah, that would be a really clean entry point, guys. 35.50. Here's your high. Here's your high. There's your daily 100 SMA. If you hold over 35.50 today, that would be the sick hold. That would be the sick hold. 35.50. Previous high. hold over that, watch that level, okay? 35.50. If you get a hold over that on Intel, you might get a little bit more juice. You might get a little bit more juice here, okay? Keep an eye on that level today. Amazon, really not much. Just sort of weak with the tech names. I'd watch that 190 level today. That's very clear, right? You can see right here. Let's go into this. 192. We failed below it. That's now a rejection spot. So watch that 193 rejections and that 190 demand. 190 to 193. Okay? Watch that 193 fail and any pop higher. Google. Back to that 183 demand level. Very nice. I now look for these rejections to come in, right? What you're looking for more than anything today, guys, is you're looking for a retest of previous day lows as a potential new rejection spot, right? That would be very nice. So previous rejection lows here at 186. Look for that bounce. Look for that fade. 186. 186, 186, bounce and fade. Look for that 186 to turn into a new low. That's what happened here, right? Previous level, new low. Previous low, new high, right? Previous low, new high. So look for that new level to form here at 186 for some potential fades, okay? Support at 183. Netflix, this is actually a pretty interesting fade on Netflix in my opinion. If you guys look at this 4-hour chart, take a look at this. Previous high, 664. Look at these previous lows. And look at this high that's forming here on Netflix. This is actually sort of interesting. Now, we do have earnings on Thursday, so that's my only concern here, but that is very interesting, right? See how this previous major double bottom low has now turned into a high? Very clear, right? Very clear. And showing some weakness on Netflix there. So I'd watch that. Continue to watch fades at 664 on Netflix. That could be really nice. Let's go into a few more semiconductors because I missed a few of them. Qualcomm. Big breakdown off that 210 fade, man. That 210 level. That sure was a nice level. Look at that thing, right? 210. Bam. Very nice. We're under 205. We're at the 200 again. So we're basically just still in this channel. 200 to 210. Look how clean that was. 210, 200. Very nice. If we break under 200 today, guys, that could be a reason for more downside, right? A short, possibly under 200 on Qualcomm. Very possible here. So I'd take a look at that 200. Okay. ARM, really nice fade of the 179. You guys remember that 179 level is, right? 179 was the previous all-time high, right? We talked about this one. 179, we said if ARM breaks under 179, there's going to be weakness. That's a fail back under previous all-time highs. Talked about that yesterday, and man, was that clean yesterday. Look at this, right? Breakdown under 179. Rejection, 179 again. We're now turning 179, previous all-time high, into a rejection spot. That is very clear. So that's weak. Okay, that's weak. That's not great. Now, I'd watch 172. Right, take a look at this. 172. Right here, 172. We got to get back above 172. You got to get back over 172 for any type of upside move. If you see 172 turn into a new rejection spot, sorry, I'm going to make that red. If red, not green. If 172 turns into a new rejection spot, you're moving lower into the 167. Okay? 172, 179. Okay? SMCI. Oof. Yeah, what a fake out on SMCI, huh? What a fake out that was. All right, had a little bit of a perked up a little bit. Got some people interested, but man, did that thing fake out. I think you're coming back to 830 here. You're coming back to 830 here. And that was a sick fake out. Let me make this a little bit smaller. So 880 is now your new rejection spot. Support is at 830. So that's your new zone. Watch out for the 830 hold, right? If you get an 830 push, watch the 880 rejection. What a crazy rejection. 830 is your next support. Be aware of that down below. Okay. 830, 880. Apple. Let's be interested in Apple pullbacks, right? Apple is definitely a strong name. You guys can see right here, 230, definitely a big spot. Be aware of 230. If you break 230, you're going to get your pullback to 228. that could be a better spot in my opinion. But right now it's 230, 228, guys. 230, 228 on Apple, okay? Rejections now possible at 233. 233, possible new rejections at previous lows, all right? So 233, 230, 228. Very nice. Microsoft, I got to jump out of here, guys. I'm running out of time here. Microsoft, 444, 443.50. We get a little bit more time here. It's going to be the last one we do here. And then we're out of here. Microsoft, 443.50. Look for rejections now at 446. Very clear. Yeah. Look for those rejections at 446 now. Right there. Rejections at 446, 446, 446, 446. Watch those rejections at 446. All right? Let's get a quick peek at that NASDAQ futures. Let's get a quick update. Guys, here we are, right? It's very clear today. If we are under 20,370, this market is staying weak. It's very clear. If you cannot get back above the previous all-time high and the major structure lows, if you cannot get above that 20,370, guys, markets will remain weak. The only way this market has relief to the upside today is if we can reclaim 370 and start to see that thing turn into support. That's the only way you get relief here today. Above 370, turning the previous Friday lows, that previous low here, and that previous all-time high into support. If you see that, you'll get relief. If you do not try to long this pullback yet, okay? You have time. You don't need to take it on the first day. You got to let some levels reclaim before you start longing this pullback. All right? Press that like button, subscribe to the channel, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Peace.